All right, let's talk about one of the most incredible transformation stories you'll ever hear. We're talking about a journey from, profound struggle all the way to a multi-billion-dollar empire. It's kind of like a blueprint for how you can turn adversity into a massive advantage.
So, let's just start with the final number, right? Look at this, $2.5 billion. That's the net worth we're talking about. And that's not just money, that figure represents an entire global media empire built literally from the ground up.
But how? Really, how does someone get there? A number that big doesn't just appear out of thin air. To really get the full picture, to truly understand it, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning of the journey. And let me tell you, that journey was anything but a walk in the park. It started as a steep uphill battle. Long before all the fame and influence, the reality was, well, it was very, very different. Now, we're not talking about some fancy corporate boardroom. Not at all. The story actually begins in a local television studio. And that job? For a lot of people, that would have been it. That would have been the peak of their career. But for her, it was just the starting line, in a race that almost nobody believed she could win.
Now just look at the sheer scale of that jump. Going from a local TV host to a global media mogul isn't just a promotion, that's a whole different universe. It's a quantum leap, for real. This visual really drives home just how immense that journey was.
And a leap like that, it definitely didn't happen overnight. And it for sure didn't happen without a fight. The path was incredibly difficult, paved with challenges that would have stopped most people cold in their tracks. And these weren't small hurdles. They were systemic walls. She was up against racism in an industry where faces like hers were hardly ever seen in charge. She faced sexism in a world that just consistently undervalued her perspective. And maybe the worst part, she faced a constant barrage of doubt from people who just couldn't see her vision. But every great story has a turning point, that one moment where the whole narrative just shifts. For Oprah, this came in the form of a television revolution, one that she started all by herself. In the middle of all that struggle and all that external doubt, it all came down to a single venture, just one show. A show that wouldn't just change her life, but would end up rewriting the rules for the entire landscape of daytime television. And that show, of course, was The Oprah Winfrey Show. It wasn't just another talk show, it was a completely new kind of television. It was a platform built on real empathy, on authentic connection, and that resonated with millions, catapulting her from a local host into a global icon. So after looking at this incredible path, from a really tough start to global influence, what's the core lesson here? What's the real takeaway at the very heart of this journey? The full arc of her story, from facing down these huge obstacles to building a multi-billion-dollar fortune, it isn't really about the money. The money is just the result. The story is about something so much more fundamental. And this is it. This is the core lesson. Through all the external doubt, the racism, and the sexism, the most powerful force she had was this unwavering belief in herself. It was the conviction that despite all the evidence to the contrary, more was possible. So as we wrap this up, her story of overcoming so much through belief, it really leaves us with a powerful question. It's not just about what you can achieve, but about what limitations you accept. So, the question is, what story will you decide to write?